Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. This is Greg Dixon, your fun investing host. And today I'm going to talk about an idea. It says, what color is your money ball? If you can imagine your financial situation as a sphere and and assign a color to it, what color would it be? So I've got in this little graphic here, I've got basically red, which really means you're drowning in debt. You're basically struggling to keep up with your debt and maybe on the edge of losing everything. And then most of you, I hope, are in the blue zone, and that means you may have some debt, but you have enough income, you're comfortable, probably living pretty well. Even if you're retired and living on a pension, have a small apartment or in a senior's home, you're good. You don't have to worry about anything. You've got your necessities looked after, and if you got health and some relationships, really that's all you need. And then the green one there is you have financial freedom, financial independence. You've got enough money that you can do what you want. You can travel. You can help out family members, and continue that way. So I'm just going to go through a bit of these things. If you go to the article, there's the red ball, and that's a little bit more about what I just described here. You can go to the article and read it. And really, it's not that hard to get into this zone with the debt. I spent quite a bit of time in the last 10 years in this way, and I've used an example here. Is a $100,000 loan, and nowadays you can easily go out and spend $100,000 on a new pickup truck or a vehicle of some sort. You can, they're cheaper vehicles and they're way more expensive vehicles. But you know what? If you think about what that costs, let's say you finance that $100,000, and here I like using a site called the calculator site, and it just basically indicates. Let's say you say you can afford to pay it down $800 a month, and at 8% annual interest. Um, you sometimes can get a better interest rate or sometimes worse. And the irony is that the the less you need the money, the better the interest rate you get. One of our friends here had a joke one time. He says it used to be if you can go to the bank and prove that you didn't need the money, they'd loan you the money. Now they won't even do that. So, but a car dealership will get you out the door with a car. It's not that hard to get to get a loan at a car dealership. Get into trouble. So what this chart shows is after 11 years of paying $800 a month, paid over $77,000 in interest, and you still have $71,000, 72,000 almost to go, and that's after 11 years of paying. So that's why these things can be in the never never land. And if you get laid off, you can't afford to pay it, it'll just keep on growing and growing, and that's how people get into a lot of trouble. So that's 22 years. That's $215,000, almost $216,000 over 22 years. That's a lot of money. So I would come up with this thing here is the work hours equivalency. So how many hours do you have to work in order to pay off that loan? And I'm going to use say I'm making $30 an hour, and some people will say that if you're getting paid $30 an hour, really you only have half of that in order to apply to paying off debts. But let's say I'm gonna say it's $20 equivalency. So that $215,000, that's over 10,000 hours. That's 270 work weeks. That's 5.4 work years. Holy smoly. So if you buy a vehicle to get to work, you have to work to pay for the vehicle to get you to work. I don't know. So the math is a little suspect on that. And I'm sure many of you out there are not getting 30. Some are getting much more than that, but minimum wage, moderate wage, average wage, you could be lower. So anyway, so how do you get out of debt? So here's a pretty simple recipe here. The thing is, you pay down the highest interest debt first. So if you've got a credit card, it's charging 20% interest, and some are more. And it seemed like a good idea. You walk into the store and they say, "Hey, sign you up for a card, and you get you get the bonus here today. You get $10 off of your purchase." Anyway, next thing you know, it's creeping up, and you got a massive bonus balance at 20%. And I said it's causing you to bleed out financially, and bleed out is a medical term, and it really is. Really, you can something like that can put you on the street. So, and so okay, next step is to pay down the highest interest, the one that's causing you the most problem. It's like triage, medical triage. And then avoid taking on new debt. So really some people avoid debt completely. They just buy things on cash, and and that keeps them out of trouble. Others will pay off their card, buy things. So many things you need a card to buy if you subscribe to things online. But if you practice paying that off right away, you don't carry a balance. That's good. Reduce your spending. If you're think about it. If you if you got you're paying 20% interest, and you go out and spend $100 on something, you have to consider that you're spending 20% on top of what you just that $100. So that's you don't have to stay in a cave, but just consider it when you're spending money that does cost. There's an opportunity cost loss there. Then increase income. You can't really save your way out of debt. You need more income in some way. And here, look for passive investing opportunities, passive income. So one of my reasons for the business investment challenge is to provide a way to climb out of a financial hole with affordable weekly contributions. So the breakfast challenge, I started with putting in $30 a week into a platform that compounds interest weekly, can grow to be something significant. It turns out I need $100 to get started. So I amended that, and it's to start with $100, put in $30 a week at 3% interest compounded weekly. Will put you in the blue zone in a few years. And here's a little chart. It's a little bit like that loan payment chart, only it's going the other way. And your little starting off here will really let's see. Okay, yeah. So the interest earned for quite a few months here, it's not really doing much. It just looks like you're gaining a little bit, gaining a little bit, gaining a little bit, and then it gets to the point it starts gaining momentum, and it really accelerates. And that number at the top is basically you can buy a house almost anywhere in the world for that. My joke about Vancouver is $50,000 will buy you a really nice chicken coop. Many of the busy areas, sort of San Francisco, Los Angeles, Seattle, many places there, especially on the coastal regions, the prices tend to be higher. You can find interior locations where the prices are much lower. But anyway, the whole idea here is this thing will allow you in say 3 years, you'll be in pretty good shape, and you'll be able to afford more things. Okay. And then I mentioned this a bit. Oh yeah, there's a button here. If you go to the website, go join the challenge. I meet the challenges. I meet every Saturday, or I review my results. I've got my own auto trading results, and then I've set Bonnie up, and I'm doing the challenge. We put in $100 and putting in $30 a week. And I think this will be coming up the third week of putting in $30, so the fourth week, and we look at how the account's grown. So the blue ball, this is enough. What's enough? That varies for different people, but my thing is, if you've got good health, good relationships, and you don't have money stress, you've got enough money to get by. You're comfortable. You can buy food. You've got shelter, and you have time, things you love. That's a pretty good place to be. I would hope that most of the people listening to this are in that spot. I know most of my relatives are in that spot in pretty good shape, And anyway, what enough looks like for me, when it comes down to it, I really don't need a whole lot. Mostly, I appreciate having time to do things I love to do. And right now, as I said, I wrote this article sitting in a 24-foot Class C motorhome, and I'm doing this broadcast from the same motorhome. And we're parked in my brother's yard, and the this has a nice little space here. There's a little sort of dining room area with a bench seats on either side, and that's enough room to put my computer. I've got a Mac iMac, and I've got you can't see it here. I've got a MIDI keyboard, professional MIDI keyboard, because I'm doing some music production, and I've got a recording board for recording through microphones and things too. So, pretty good little studio, and I've got a few handful of musical instruments and a little portable amp, which will fit in the bunk on the RV, and so basically this little spot, I'm 20 feet away from the bed if I need a nap. And then here, Bonnie and I have started a little garden in the backyard, and Bonnie really likes doing that. I've got some experience, and it's nice to grow things. So we're going to grow the 50-foot diet garden here. And I've got a fuel efficient van that we can sleep in if we need to. And we're probably going to do a road trip down to California in April, or in October. And we've been thinking of going to visit my son's family in Montreal, and then going to Nova Scotia. It probably won't both be this year, but one or the other. And and making art. If I've got some time, I'm doing more and more. I used to do quite a lot of painting. I do a little bit. I dropped in for a little art drop-in thing yesterday, and I have work can be on call. I'm on call for a couple of jobs here uh, in the Merritt area, both for Native organizations, and I'm in a point now where I enjoy doing the work when if they call, but I don't need to do it. I don't need the income. And and I've had clients over the years, and I don't need to take on difficult clients. So I'll say, if they're going to be difficult, they can go somewhere else. I have the financial security that I'm not dependent on having those clients. Okay, so the green ball there, financial freedom. So this is really, where you can shine. And I have some friends and relatives who are in this zone too. Uh, and basically you have no debt, you got some cash reserves, and you've got and almost everybody who's in good shape has invested in mutual funds, or they've got stocks that pay dividends, or some kind of cryptocurrency kind of thing. And they got modest living expenses. Modest is a relative thing. Modest might be, $300,000 house, or maybe a 3 million or $30 million. It's all relative to your lifestyle. And what I've been doing is I have a platform. It's a crypto trading platform, an investing platform called Kraken, and has a number of ways of creating some passive income. So I'm building up some money in there just to generate. It's sort of the equivalent of buying mutual funds that pay money over time. And then the main thing here is the heart of the Breakfast Investing Challenge is an AI auto trading program, and it conducts thousands of small trades each workday, and churning returns consistent with what a good day trader can do. And I've been trying to learn trading, and I have had some good days. I'm not consistent enough. This thing here, you put in the money, it goes, it shows you what it's doing, it shows you every trade it makes, shows you whether it's profitable or not profitable, adds up the percentage of the day, and at the end of the day, there's money in your account, and at the end of the week, it reinvests that back in for the following week. And it's been doing pretty much 3% or better for me. I think I'm in my second month of it, and it's very it's doing what it says it should do. And if you're curious, go check out on a financial calculator what 3% a week can do for you. And so here, there's a link to the platform here, that you can go and just take a look there. This video, introductory video. You can sign up, and you can do it. You can start investing here either as part of our challenge or just go do it yourself. And I'm always available to help you. There's some technical issues for getting money in and out, and and the one thing I have to say is the money's always available to get out. Okay, and then here's the golden zone, the golden ball, and the means to help many. So you know people who are in this realm. I listed here Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. There are others who have made basically billions of dollars either with business or investments or something like that, and they're giving back to the world. So um, both Bill Gates and Warren Buffett support large foundations that have a big pool of money they use to help for medical research, help make conditions better for others, all sorts of things, and they're putting the money back in. Both of them, I think both. I think Bill Gates, his car is a Honda Accord, so he's got a yacht and he's got houses, but he doesn't live not as extreme as some do with that kind of money. And Warren Buffett, I think he's living in the same house he's lived in for 50 years and probably driving a car that's 10 years old. It's not the money isn't the lifestyle for these guys really particularly. It's what they can do for others. And on a smaller scale, in our family, I've had an Uncle Harry. He was sort of my mother's brother, and lived his whole life on the farm out in Alberta. And I used to go out and help and work on the farm. And he's a very humble man. So it's just basically farmed until he got too old to farm, and then he moved to a senior center. And I'm going to talk with my cousin about this, but I think what he did is my grandfather always had invested in stocks and things, probably bought co-op stocks and various things, and didn't spend money on really anything. Like Harry's idea of extravagant spending was, if we go out to visit, we'd go to a restaurant, a Chinese restaurant or a local diner, and go for a nice meal. So that was his. And then he would go out on a trip with a cousin, go on a bit of a road trip, in a travel trailer. And yeah, so it was pretty simple life. But he helped out my aunt when she had basically health problems and husband problems, and he bought her a home, and which supported seven kids. So that whole family is pretty large, and pretty much for myself and all of my siblings and cousins, we all have had a lift up from Uncle Harry, either through loans and once in a while gifts, and we've all had better lives because of him and because of what he's done. And then he passed away a few years ago, and even though there are quite a few nieces and nephews, we all got enough money to either just enrich our lives or get, in my case, it helped me get out of debt and just get a new start on things. So yep. So many of my cousins are doing okay. Most of my siblings are doing okay. Didn't need it, but it's all greatly appreciated. And so that's this whole idea of creating a legacy and paying it forward is one of the ideas behind the Breakfast Investing Challenge. So I think really it can help people if you're in that red zone. You just need some help. You need an income source that can grow as a response to something affordable. The breakfast is $30 a week. Most people can put $30 a week into this, and it'll grow over time. It may take a few years, but it'll grow so that it can give you more financial independence. And yeah, so the other thing is, so I'm looking at helping people who are just sort of, struggling, it'll give them a vehicle to move up. But also, this thing about this whole legacy trust or some kind of foundation, this could be the basis of it too. If you have a church, I've been helping out. When I was traveling in India, I got invited to stay with at a church and independent pastor and in India, and the pastor had this vision to create an orphanage and help support a bunch of children, and he's done that. And I think there are now a few hundred kids in the orphanage. They're providing housing and food and education, but they're always short of money. So I've proposed to them that we set up an account with the Breakfast Investing Challenge and grow that up. I'm willing to put in regular contributions to build it up, and it'll be good if they had other supporters also putting contributions into it. And as I said, I'll seed the account and make regular contributions. So I guess my question is, going back to the beginning, well, in this context, do you have a nonprofit or a mission that could use a legacy fund? If so, let me know. And just to go back and reiterate here. So I don't know what you decided, what color you're at. If you're in this red zone, or if you're moving up into the blue zone, this blue-white zone with a little sparkly thing, because I think this. If you're already here, then you're happy. You don't need to worry too much about it. If you want to move up to that and to be more financial freedom, this program can help you. And then maybe there's one or two people out there where that golden ball, that larger vision of helping other people, comes into play. So yeah, so that's all I want to say about that. I'm going to go back here and yeah, I hope you enjoy your life. I actually, one of the things, the enjoyment of life is probably not dependent on money. If you've got enough, and you're doing things you love, then that's enough. But I just know if you're in this red zone here, like, that's probably not fun. And if nothing else, talk to me and we'll see if we can get you moving out of that zone into somewhere that's more comfortable. Anyway, thank you and talk to you later.